Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. Kind of bright over here right now, too, but at the same time, I had to have my sunglasses off because the screen on here to start the video, you can't see it quite with your sunglasses, but I gotta check and see if I can see myself that I'm on, because the way the sun's shining here. So, anyway, this video I want to talk about the couple of different attitudes of different lifestyles. And this subject matter is mind-blowing, and I think that some people understand, and sometimes it annoys or pisses everybody off, or some people on either side are so damn jaded and caught up in their own attitude or narrative that they don't want to listen. Or my opinion, really, and this is my opinion, and I believe in the right to defend yourself and the right to have whatever gun to target practice, and I personally think, yeah, there's nothing wrong with requiring you have to get a permit and a license, but I want to talk about a couple of different lifestyles and cultures. Some people are so busy hating on the NRA, but there's people on both sides that they stick to their narrative because they're so jaded. But not just that. There's also another aspect of how people stick to their narrative because there's so much shit. Say you get both sides that don't like each other, but there's so many different subcultures, in my opinion, within there and attitudes that some people, I think, don't really want to deal with. It's the ideas and the attitudes, and some really bad ones, and some better than others in different races and different cultures and lifestyles. Some better than others. There's so much of that around, right? And stupidity that it's so mind-numbing. The fact that thinking about all that shit on both sides and knowing it's on both sides, that it's just, some people think that it's just easier to stick with their narrative no matter what and put everybody else down because they know this shit is out there in their own hearts. But it's just, there's some shit out there that's too mind-numbing to think about. And matter of fact, to even talk about, not entirely easy. But I personally believe, yeah, there are people out there with, legitimate, and you don't want to say, if there's people trying to say, oh, blame everything on the NRA, and, well, there's a couple people within that idealism. There are some people don't believe you should be made to have a license under any circumstances. And then there's some people, well, everybody, as long as you didn't commit a crime, should apply for a license. And okay, and then you got the far left that's a hypocrite, right? That you know right away that only attack one side. It's all, everything's a fault. The NRA, white people, legit gun owners. And even though you want to you go and agree with, which I personally will agree with some of them. I tell some of the people on the far left, if you listen to me about this, even though I don't agree with a thing with everybody else on a particular thing, I will agree with you on this thing if you listen to me. And there was one guy, some of you guys that know me, if you look at my YouTube channel, this guy pretending using somebody else's name. I looked him up, looked his YouTube channel up so I could show this idiot to a couple other people. It turned out that I think he was some guy associated with Marvel Comics. And I think that he was a guy that hijacked somebody else's name and profile and took stolen videos or something, right? And because of the black gentleman, his stuff is doing well that I subscribe to, I think he was just got a fake name, and his ass can get sued by the real person. I'm not going to go along with it because I subscribe to Young Ripper and he don't believe in gun control. And I agree with him in his thing that I flaunted on there, that I took a photo of, where he quoted, all gun control is bullshit and I don't got to coddle nobody's ass. It's to coddle. He don't got to coddle people because they feel like they're doing something and be told what to do. I agree with that too. But there's also, for example, you get the far left. They won't listen to you, or the minute anybody on the far left won't answer questions, the ones that always attack the legit gun owners, legit licensed gun owners that target practice and the legit right to defend themselves, they're showed for who they are when they're they only attack. You call them on attacking one side, whether you isolate and talk to them in person verbally, like out there in the world, or in a text comment. If they do argue with you, you notice that they won't answer your questions. And the minute they don't answer your question, their claims that they harass you with are nothing but harassment. You don't got to listen to them. Bye. Block your ass. The ones that always attack legit gun owners, blame them for every crime, and a lot of times, oh, you're white Christian or white this or that. The minute they don't answer you about these other kind of people, criminals, pseudo gang members, and gang members that are both black and white, these different people that go around with guns, you notice the people on the far left, they won't answer you about that, because some of them, well, actually a lot of them in the colleges and out there in the streets, the younger ones that I'm talking about, not the far left liberals that are actually in politics, the far left liberals that are just young punks that follow these far leftist politicians. You notice that all of them, they don't like legit gun owners, and they hate just the NRA, and why they don't acknowledge any other people, both black and white, with guns. They ignore you. If you're in person, they ignore you or talk over you. Oh, and you see them talking over people in talk shows too. There's a reason for that, because they go to these parties and they buy these drugs, and the people that sell them their drugs at these parties, and not picking on anybody because of their race, they're both black and white. They can be white and tattooed and different kind of hair, and blasting Eminem in their car, rap music, and nothing against black people pretending to be black. That old show, the pseudo gang members that sell them their drugs, to carry guns, they like that shit, and they also think anybody should do all of the drugs they want, or buy whatever drugs they want, and they want the legalization of all drugs, and they don't like the police, but yet the people that I just mentioned, they have no problem with the people that have guns and sell them their drugs. If you offended them or whatever, do the same brutality that they accuse the police are, because they want their drug thug people to be the police. Even if you look at them the wrong way, they can get their people after you. But and they also don't care if the police would commit brutality against you because of he said, she said. They also indicate that the police can commit brutality on somebody else as long as they need them too. And they don't like the police. They want this narco-communist kind of mob rule, if you will. That's why they don't answer your questions or whatever the hell. Pretty much like hypocrites. You got them pinned down in any way. But yeah, then these people, there's a bunch of people out there that, both black and white, they don't care about no NRA or anything, that claim their own right for their own reasons to walk around with a gun. And there's also a few people that are pseudo NRA that are an embarrassment too, that have an attitude that they think that just because they have a gun, they get the stand your ground rule mixed up. And for my opinion, according to so many things what I look at, some people that have laws in some places and states, I think the stand your ground thing is maybe in a way too vague for people to claim. The rules about stand your ground are too vague in a creepy way, because people that like to abuse the stand your ground thing. There are a lot of morons out there on both sides of the tracks that, they don't want somebody else to have a gun, but you should have a gun. That they think they should have a gun and nobody else. Hypocrites. And they also get they get confused, or they're not really confused. They got this jaded idea that, contrary to a legit reason that you need to defend yourself, they think because they carry a gun, they think that they have the right to behave a wrong way with people and talk down to people and act aggressively with people and be verbally aggressive, right? Or act a certain way in public. And if they can't physically intimidate somebody, verbally intimidate somebody, you know those kind of people, you may have ran into them and you're talking to yourself. I said, it's best to stay out of their way. You know, they might, yeah. You know, the kind of people that look like, that act up, and that you might want to say, maybe I better ignore this guy or stay away from him, because they're literally trying to manufacture reasons to go off on people. They're both black and white. They come from all walks of life, and some have legit gun permits. I talked about that and made my case with that dude, that Kevin McSwiggan, about his background. He had the right to, he was a lifeguard once, and he had a pseudo right to treat women any way he wanted and make unwanted passes at women, and even attempted rapes, and then tell them, oh, I'll murder you some kind of way, throw you in a drum and bury you or whatever, and that came to light on the news. And you got guys like that, this Kevin McSwiggan dude running around, right, that know in their hearts that they go and sexually harass women, right, and they know in their heart that it ain't just the police that'll get called. They figured maybe some uncles, brothers, and relatives might want to come and beat their asses, right? But of course everybody knows, motorcycle passing by, of course everybody knows, you know, doing that stuff is taken in your own hands and technically is against the law, right? But there's a type of retribution that if people that do things like that should rightly fear, and be an incentive not to behave this way. But no, people like this Kevin McSwiggan dude, for example, got a gun, but he killed an off-duty cop, right, in a road rage thing. But he had this ego from the very beginning. Oh, he can sexually harass women any way he wants. That, oh yeah, if somebody wants to get their uncles and cousins and nephews, hunt him down and beat his ass. Oh, I got a gun, so I can sexually say, hey, you can sexually harass women any way I want, because, you know, in case somebody comes after me, I better have a gun. And then he turned around and he went into, did the road rage, if you will, and it happened to be an off-duty cop or whatever. It made the news. His attitude led to his own undoing. He fucked himself over. Unfortunately, it caused somebody's death. But somebody like him, really, you know, gun control still ain't the answer. This dude was known from the years ago by people he worked next to and his peers. That and don't get me wrong, I don't want red flag laws, because there's some people abuse red flag laws, like for stupid shit, like you get somebody who doesn't like you. I agree with that. But there should be some kind of law for guys. You know, you got the ones that are well known, that they acted right up in front of people. You know what I'm saying? That kind of red flag law, I think, is acceptable to me, you know what I mean? Because that guy was known by people, and he created trouble. He projected some pretty bad temperament here. He projected a lot of things. He attracted a lot of attention to himself. Yeah, with his ego, he thought. But these are kind of people out there that even some of the NR people, I'm not saying all of them, there's a right to defend yourself, but there are people that get legitimate gun owners and act like, you know, they're an embarrassment to the NRA, but people on both sides of the tracks, they think they could get a gun and they can treat people any way they want, or start verbally harassing people places. You know, mentally deranged in so many ways, even with legit gun permits, but taking guns off of everybody is not going to stop them people, you know. But, yeah, there's a bad attitude with a little bit of people of all races and lifestyles that claim that they don't need no laws or rules just because they want a gun. Not only that, they think that they can just act any way they want and looking to go off on people, and they think that if somebody pushes back against them and verbally stands up to them, yeah, you verbally stand up to them, and not even physical, verbally stand up to them. You fracture their ego, so they, brandish a holster or a gun. And then if you were to laugh at them and say, oh yeah, just because you've got a little gun, yeah, what are you going to do, shoot me for standing up to you or disagree with you? And then, some of them, you call them on that way, like I said, and some of them will get mad and actually shoot you. That's not a good mentality, but there are people out there running around like that. There was that one guy I saw on the TV news, like, 5 years ago, that came pretty close to a bicyclist, right? Cut him off, and deliberately with a car, and then a red light. The bicyclist that caught him up when a red light and said, "What the hell do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are?" And the dude pulls out a gun and says, "Quote: Oh, I have a license to carry and whatever the hell," and pointing a gun. I'd have to dig up the article. I did have an old video that I did about it. And just like any other video, when you speak some truth, YouTube and then other people, suppress the amount of views. But say it gets 10 views, and 20 of my friends told me they saw it, so go figure, you know what I mean? But yeah, you got people that'll do shit like that, road rage, and whether it's in a car or you get somebody, say for example, that has a big mouth and doesn't like a particular person, so it's verbally harassing them, and then they stand up to him. Oh, he brandishes a gun. Yeah, the thing. Yeah, you got these people that get guns and are like, because they want to be able to. They started out maybe even school bullies or whatever. You get the school bully that wasn't like all other school bullies that at least half the time, they get their ass kicked. They grow up, right? Whether it's whatever race, they want to be white or black and act gangsta. They think they can, you got the one you went to school with, you think you can act any way they want, and then when they get their ass kicked, they go somewhere and come back with a gun. Not blaming it on any particular race. Every single person of every race has it, but yet make a snide remark about some other YouTuber that is a lurker that makes comments. Oh, when making this comment about such lurkers out there tell me I'm rambling like a psycho and I say, I point out that for example, the white guy had Ted Bundy, the black guy had white people had Ted Bundy, black people had Edward Surratt. As far as serial killers and people with mentalities like that, and well, you can bring up anything on the internet, like a news. Both white and black people committed crime with guns. Yeah, and then I had another game people played on me too. Their comments. They send me some link to Wikipedia, and I don't click on no links. Some kind of name of, if they're listening right now, what kind of bias is that? And they're accusing me of comparing other races. No, I wasn't comparing. When you're comparing other races, you're saying one race is worse with about a particular thing than another. I'm not doing that. I says no. I'm saying both white and black people have legit same things about personality, but for the good, and then both white and black people both have serial killers hanging over their head. I'm not saying, if I was comparing and being biased, I'd be saying, oh, black people shoot more people than white people. I'm not saying that, so fuck you. You know what I mean? You got these young kids with pictures of anime on their YouTube. Nothing against anime. I like some of it myself, but that they should think before they actually open their mouth. But no, they don't really got to think before they open their mouth. It's just they're on a narrative what their other little friends are saying, what's popular at the time. But yeah, there's a anyway. There's a difference between somebody wanting to rob you or murder you, right? And your life is in danger, and you carry a gun, you brandish it. Either they're going to run away, or if you have to shoot. There's a difference between that and being a person that, yeah, you think you can treat people any way you feel like it, verbally verbally harass people and be loud with an innuendo that you might intimidate them, like make them feel like they might get beat up. And then if they still stand up to you, all brandish or pull out a gun. There's a different, and in their warped mind, they think that's so. They think stand your ground and self-defense is, oh, the person wouldn't be intimidated. The person wouldn't be intimidated by me, so I had to pull out my gun and shoot him. No, that's not how it works. That's not how stand your ground's supposed to work. But there's people with mentalities that they don't check on the laws in their state about owning a gun. Maybe some of them listen, but they hear what they want to hear, or they write in, they ignore it, and they write in what they feel like it should be, and it doesn't work that way. And if you want to say things like to agree with the left that there's these people running around, it's never good enough for them. Never good enough. You don't kiss the ass of their narrative, and while they ignore you or talk over you when you bring up, okay, yeah, the young liberal kids that buy all their drugs in the drug parties, all their people that sell them their drugs, oh, they got guns, and they loud, booming voice, louder at music, whether it's white or black people with tattoos, or like I read in a book called The BS Syndrome, The Macho Man. Loud, booming voice, abuses women and children, and carries a gun which he dares not use, which some of them, you fracture their ego, they will use against the law, you know what I mean? That kind of person, the macho person that, yeah, you know what I mean? It comes in all races, yeah, but, yeah, you got the pseudo gangster out there that sells people their drugs, and, oh, those people have guns, but oh yeah, the NRA is still wrong, but yeah, my drug dealer buddies is in my little liberal cult. They're all, never mind, they have guns, and like I said, all about narco communism and a kind of a gangy mob rule, like the same kind of gangy mob rule that was originated in these other countries. While you got this really bad shit going on in these other countries now, these kind of people actually took over the government, and that's what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying?